Hey guys, Thunder E here, and I apologize for actually dropping this review late. This is the Huawei GX8. Now, we did an unboxing and mini review. We liked what we saw earlier with this device, but we're taking a closer look at what the GX8 offers from Huawei. Now, packaging reveals, of course, headphones, travel adapter, SIM removal tool, and of course, micro USB cables. It supports micro USB. This retails for $299 wearable.com. You can also buy it directly for them at $17 a month. When talking about design, you've got a metal back with sort of a glass finish at the top. Display is 5.5 inches. It is a 1080p display. You've got your volume rock on the right hand side with a power button there. At the back, of course, you can see the fingerprint sensor, which is super fast. Camera is 13 megapixels. Now, this houses the Snapdragon 616 processors, octa-core processor, 2 gigs RAM. You can expand the storage via micro SD, and also you can actually use this as a dual SIM device. You can put the SIM card in either the two sections or even where the micro SD card is. So that's actually pretty cool with this. Now, just in terms of feel, it feels a little wider in the hands though, even for me, but it's still comfortable enough. This feels, for those people who are not looking for a larger phone, this might not be for you just because of the width of it, but still a solid phone. The fingerprint scanner itself is really fast. You can see it there. It just went pretty smooth, and the operating system flows very well. Now, they're using, of course, their own custom UI overlay on here, and I've liked what Huawei has done with it. I want to see more improvements as it moves forward, but the UI runs well. It's the EMUI 3.1, I believe, running Android 5.1, and it's got a few things. It's got a few gesture controls, and also some battery management. Now, the battery itself is a 3000 milliamp battery, so you should expect over 24 hours of battery life, which is good. So I'm glad to see more and more devices are taking that path of giving you better battery life as you move forward with your devices, which is something that I want to see more manufacturers do. Now, this are some of the gesture controls, nothing crazy, flip to answer, things like that. And as I mentioned, the UI is the EMUI 3.1, Android 5.1, shows you all the specs down there, including also the fact that it uses 2 gigs of RAM on the system, and it comes 16 gigabytes of storage. Now, when we go to the camera itself, the camera app is fairly fleshed out. As I mentioned before, the rear camera is 13 megapixels and the front-facing camera is 5. So the camera itself is fleshed out well enough where you can actually make some interesting images and take some photos. Now, you can customize that. You can set things from like slow motion. You've also got HDR, panorama, all focus, watermarks, and of course you've got some in-depth camera settings where you can change your resolution, GPS tagging, even you could create the perfect selfie if you want to. So there are a few things that they customize there. Now, what I want to get into is actually the video. Now, we're going to check out some video from this and also photos, so you guys can get a sense of what that camera does. Now, I wasn't too impressed with video from the 13 megapixel shooter. I thought it was a little wobbly and shaky, but you know what? You guys definitely take a look at it and make a decision yourself there. Recording with the GX8 here, and I have stabilization on and all those features. It's chilly today, a little colder. I'm gonna walk out a little bit so you guys get a good example. Whew, man, it is cold. Yeah, you can hear the wind anyway. I was gonna do some more recording outside today, but I could not just because of the weather. Now, granted, video had its ups and downs. I think photos came out pretty well. There's a little bit of saturation on the photos, but I still like the quality the camera gave. Things popped out. I also gave it its natural color and look. So even though those are dry reds, they didn't pop out too much. So I like that with photos with this camera. I think it did a good job there. Now, when it comes to gaming with the 616 processor, you're surprised that this thing actually handles very well with 2 gigs of RAM. You're able to actually go ahead and play a lot of the games that you play, on your flagship device, especially graphically intensive games. You really shouldn't have any issue with it. So I like the fact that it performed well in gaming, especially if you're on the budget side of things. You're like, look, I want a budget phone that can still do a lot of work. This thing can, and I think it did a good job here. Overall, the GX8 is a nice device. Now, it's priced at $299, and Huawei's offering monthly payment plans at $17 a month, which is actually pretty nice. You've got a solid fingerprint sensor, you've got a decent camera at best, and that's where it falters, I would say. In terms of operations, in terms of performance, in terms of also just general use, this is a really solid device. The camera is where I have to let down. It's good for taking stills, but you really don't want to take video with it. So I'll say when it comes to budget devices though, or slightly a mid-ranger, this will have a tough time finding across things like some of the stuff that Motorola has, which is slightly more expensive but still in that range. So I do like the Huawei GX8. I think it's a nice device. Hopefully we can see some improvements in the future. I mean, if you really just have $299 to spend, or you're looking at that $17 a month from Huawei, I think this is actually not a bad deal for you. The GX8 does a really good job. Now, thank you very much, guys. Also, if you're looking for that wallpaper, it's on our Pinterest page. And if you have any questions and comments, let us know. Guys, we do have a survey going on, so the link is down below in the description. Go ahead and fill it out. Give us your thoughts on the channel, what we can improve for you. And don't forget to subscribe. If you haven't subscribed yet, please hit the subscribe button, lower right-hand corner of the screen, and in the description below. So this is Thunder E saying thank you, and always enjoy your entertainment.